Are you ready for progress? Oh, taste and see. There's a word for you and me. For progress.
Serving the uncompromising truth makes us truly free.
For progress. Open your heart, your mind, your soul. He'll make you whole. For progress.
Preaching with power.
It's the relevant leadership strategist.
Ministries and the president of R.C. Brown Enterprises, and we are back on this 12 noon Tuesday with our college, COVID, and Christianity. It's just a panel that we've decided to do, and we've now been going for, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so, right at 2 months, if it has not been 2 months, and it has been good and has gotten gooder and gooder. I said that on purpose. It's college day, so I figured my college babies would try to, the college panel would try and help me with my vernacular. All right. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to like, share, and tag a college student right now. Like this particular broadcast, share this particular broadcast on your social media page, and then tag a college student in that comment box. I promise you today they'll be blessed. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about boys today. All right. I got a panel full of girls. I'll be the only boy this time. Again, some of our college kids who started out with us, they work. And so they're unable to get on at 12 noon for now. Hopefully, maybe sooner or later, we can get Tay back and get Lex back and have all of us up here on the screen together. But until then, I got 4 young ladies. And one of the things we're going to talk about, boys. They're in college now, so I guess we need to have that conversation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about music and its impact on them as well as the world. And then we'll see where the conversation goes from there. They'll get a chance to ask me questions. I'll ask them questions, and we will go from there. Before we get to the panel, let me take an opportunity to invite you to our I Occupy Conference and Convocation 2020. Disruption is the theme. There it is, right behind us. The August the 5th through the 8th, save the date, I Occupy Conference 2020. Disruption. We want you to be in the place. Thank you for sharing, Kiana. We want you to be in the place with us as we begin to walk through this theme that God has given us. Now, it's a hybrid conference. It's a hybrid conference. All that means is we're doing virtual and in person. So usually we meet all day long just in person. We're not going to do that this year. This year, everything we do in the daytime is going to be straight virtual, which means that you have to enroll in order to get the links for all of the sessions that take place during the day, as well as our noonday. And then in the evening is when we'll have an opportunity to meet in person. Now, we're meeting in person, but we will also stream that live as well. So then there's 3 ways to be a part of this. You can enroll, which is totally free, and you're enrolling. Why? Because you want to be able to get the links sent to your email with those sessions. When you enroll, there's a drop-down box for you to go ahead and select the sessions that you want to go to. Listen, we have a session such as the author's chair, teaching you how to write a book. Those of you who are sheltered in place, who need something to do, maybe it's a book that you need to pen and write, but you don't know how to start, where to begin. We're offering a class to help you be able to get started, the author's chair. We're also having a class dealing with Black history of a sorts, but more Black Christianity, and whether or not what we listen to now is the real Christianity. Should we believe it? Is it the white man's religion? Yeah, we're going to talk about all those kind of things. You want to select that class as well. Then we're going to deal with something called sex trafficking in the kingdom. Oh my. This is going to be good. You're going to want to select that class, and maybe be a part of that. We're also going to have sessions for our young people for truth. We call them Truth Zone, but that Truth Zone age 2 to 9. We're going to have middle school age classes, and we're going to have high school age classes. It's just going to be an incredible moment of sharing. It's the KFM Presents I Occupy Conference. You need to be in the place. All right. I want to play a couple of commercials for you. And then after that, we'll be right back before you with our panel. Check out two of our speakers who will be with us during the I Occupy Conference.
God bless you, beloved. This is Bishop L. Spencer Smith, inviting you to join me with my dear friend and brother, Bishop R. Christopher Brown, and the Kingdom Fellowship of Ministries for I Occupy Holy Convocation and Conference 2020. This year's theme is Disruption, and it will take place August 5th through the 8th right there in the beautiful city of Florence, South Carolina at the Staybridge Hotel and Suites. You don't want to miss it. Mark your calendars now. Save the date. You want to be in the house for Disruption.
Hey, Dr. Tallhall here, and I am coming with an announcement. Once this COVID situation is over, and we are believing God, we are headed to Florence, South Carolina. Did I say Florence? I want everyone in the state of South Carolina to prepare to meet us at one of the greatest conferences being hosted by Bishop R. Chris Brown and Lady T. Brown and the KFM family. It is going to be something to remember. The theme is exciting. It's called Disruptions. Some of you need to understand when this is over, we're going to become better, because right now we're in a season of disruptions. That's going to be the theme. Here's the catch. The dates are August the 5th through August the 8th. And I'm telling you, I will be preaching on August the 7th. They have a whole host of great speakers, and you need to come and enjoy the entire thing. It will be held at the Conference Hotel, the Staybridge Hotel there in Florence, South Carolina. Listen, if you want to be a part, and you will want to be a part, because who are we going to be and how will we perform after this pandemic is over? Oh my God, we haven't been in the brick and mortar for a while. We are going to have triumphant church. You must go to mykfm.org, mykfm, no spaces.org, and register. Do it now. I promise you, your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard, it has not entered into your hearts the good things that God will have in store for you when you meet us at this particular conference. August, 8th month, new beginning. I'll see you there.
Yeah, so every time I watch those commercials, I get more and more excited. The closer we get to August the 5th through the 8th, it's going to be big. Yeah, just God has been blowing our minds since the year came in. Well, not only with the tragedies that's been happening in our world, but also just the blessings that has been happening and going on. God has really been showing himself out with us and through us and for us. And so we are excited about what's next and what's coming. Okay, all right, let's get right to our panel because we have a hot topic to discuss today. It may not be hot for some people, but it may be hot for all fathers out there and possibly even mothers of these college children who are now experiencing companionship of a sorts. All right, so we're going to talk about boys and we're going to talk about music. So let's bring in our first panelist. She is our resident freedom fighter, and we are grateful to have her be a part of our ministry. She also serves as our one of our youth leaders, leading our babies ages 2 to 9. We call it Troop Zone. Kiana,
Hey, Bishop.
how to do?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thanks for asking. Introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself, and we'll move on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kiana Edie. As Bishop mentioned, I am a freedom fighter. I'm an activist and an organizer. Just started fully accepting it and walking in that purpose. I'm also a student at Claflin University, majoring in middle level education with concentrations in science and social studies, set to graduate in December of 2020 this year. And yeah, I'm ready for this conversation.
Awesome. And also, we have our tripod that sits with us is Kaka Kasha Ra Ra Da Da Mama Nana. You know, they know I kid with them about that. But it's Kasha and Shira, 3 in 1. We get 3 in 1. We always appreciate and love their commentary. So we'll bring them on. We have a resident architect, a resident healthcare facilitator, and a resident future president in this group. So we'll bring them up. Hey now.
Hey.
Introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys. My name is Kanisha Majette. I'm a rising sophomore. I go to North Carolina A&T, and like Bishop stated, my major is construction management / architectural design.
Hey y'all, my name is Kishar Majette. I am a political science major and mass communications minor. I attend Claflin University. I think that was it. Oh yeah, and I'm a rising senior. Oh guys, and I also have a business called Essence Inscriptions, and I specialize in writing academic papers on letters, poems, all that stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm about 2 months. Well, no, yeah, about 2 months and a half in.
Brand new business.
Hey, my name is Shanice. My name is Shanice Majette. I attend North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro. I'm a rising sophomore, and my major is healthcare management. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So I got all of the girls in the house. The girls are running this college conversation. We're going to switch that up. I got to find Tay back. Wait, Tay at? I got to get some men back up in here. But because you girls are trying to run the world, I don't know how I feel about that. So I got to get some testosterone in the room, and then we'll see how that goes next week. So since we don't have any testosterone, it'll be a kind of one-sided conversation, and that's okay. Let's talk about boys. You all are now of age, and that means that you are, probably pursuing or being pursued as it relates to relationships. And so I want to talk a little bit about how that looks and how that should go from your perspective. Now, your perspective may be a bit different from others because you have a kingdom of God perspective. It's college, COVID, and Christianity. So then your perspective as it relates to relationships and developing relationships, grow relationships may be different. Although that is different, doesn't mean that the people who you encounter have that same kind of concept. So I want to talk about one, how does that look now in the college scene? This whole dating, getting to know a boy kind of thing.
I'll start. In my experience, I feel like there's a whole lot of entitlement as far as dating right now. And I say that because like people feel that you have to give them your attention, that you have to text them back, that you have to FaceTime them back, that like they just feel entitled to your time, your energy, your space. And I think that has a lot to do with society today. Um, there's a whole lot of like egocentrism and like whole lot of self. Um, but and then it's communication is off as well in dating because everything is so like digital and social media driven, technology driven. It's like nobody communicates face to face anymore. And if we do communicate face to face, the style effective communication is missing. I'll say that. Um, but yeah, it's led off like physicality and lust more than like getting to know the person like for who they are. But yeah, I have a lot more to say, but I don't want to take up too much time. I'm gonna let Kashawn and Shara share.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me? You hear me? Okay. So basically, so what I learned so far in my freshman year is that we can't even use the word dating anymore. It's more so like a mutual get together. Like,
No, really.
I'm being serious. Like, it's like when you ask somebody like, oh, like, are y'all two dating? Like, they're like, oh no, what? Like, nah, we just be kicking it. Like, we just be vibing. Huh? Like, so I'm just like, okay, like, wow. So honestly, me personally, I just be chilling because like I don't have time. Like honestly, to me, a relationship is supposed to like reflect what like God wants for you. Like, and I know that's very rare these days because people just jump into relationships like for emotional crutches and like trying to get over stuff and then just like to feel like they need somebody and that they can't be by themselves. But me, like, I know God is working on me to like actually be by myself, which is okay because I just don't want to end up in a relationship with somebody and then later down the line like have to go through that whole heartbreak ordeal and all of that stuff. So honestly, in college, that saying is really true. Like, be okay with being by yourself.
No, for real.
Like, yeah.
You're not gonna die if you're single.
Wait, you say you're not gonna die if you're single?
Yeah, you ain't gonna die if you're single.
Really? Truly? I mean, really?
I'm just being honest. Like, if you're single, you're not gonna die.
Come on in the room. I want you
You're
to
not like, I'm just saying, like, you don't need like, okay, for me, I'm a strong woman. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like, yes, I do like communicate with people here and there. And I mean, it's like usually it's on my terms though. Like I have the power of cutting it off or just actually going with it or whatever. Like, because Bishop, I'm really like Beyonce to the mess. Like I don't be wanting to deal with people. Like I'm not gonna be the reason you ignore the fact that you have a problem you need to deal with. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna be my reason that I ignore the fact I have a problem I need. I'm sorry. I don't deal with it. Like, so it's just like me, it's more difficult. Well, I wouldn't say, yeah, it's more difficult with me finding a boyfriend. Not really, I don't really be trying to look though, but it's more difficult with me having a boyfriend because it's like, I see through mess. Like, I just be like no, like, and I just don't, you know what I'm saying? But me, I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of, and I mean, hey, shoot me, I don't care. I feel like that's why there's a lot of failing marriages because people fall in love with the thought of love without actually wanting to put forth the work of love. And it's just like, I want to give 100. I don't want to come when I'm 95%. No, I need you to have every piece, like every full part. So to me, I just be like, I mean, I know that sounds funny, but Bishop, I don't be caring for real. Because you're not going to die if you're single. Like, if you're single, you're not going to die. Like, I feel like God blesses your singleness. Mm-hmm. So I'm living life. I'm turned up right now. I'm not even going to lie to you, Bishop. I'm turned up. I can't even lie. But hey, here we go.
I'm gonna cut in before Shot speaks. I did not tell them to say any of this. This is totally all them. They didn't even know the question I was going to ask. They knew the general category, but this is fresh and raw, their own perspective. And these young ladies you're looking at, they're all right with speaking their mind, even when the bishop is in the room. Now they'll do it respectfully, but they'll kind of just tell me how they feel. So don't think that this is cookie cut and set and pushed in a certain direction. This is how they think and how they feel. And so, all right, from there. All right, go ahead, Shot.
Okay, so we know. Okay. Like speaking from that term point though, like with my ordeal, like I actually like, okay, I could actually say that I actually like prayed, like I prayed about it I prayed for like guidance and like the right decision making choice thing, and I can say that like coming from like how my family is, like my mom and my dad, like they're gonna keep it 100 me, like and it's just like some people actually don't know how to be in a relationship because they don't have the proper guidance.
Right.
And being in college is just like, oh, I'm out here by myself, so I can do whatever I want type thing.
Right.
And it's really not like that because, like God see everything you do at the end of the day. And it's just like people often forget about that because they don't put God in their relationship because they're so, what's the word? Not culture, but like influential.
Influence.
Yeah, influence. Influence, like coming from like social media, what social media portrays and what YouTube couples portray. Like they just think they just have to be like all social media and stuff, and they don't look at relationship how we view relationships because like saying before, like they don't have the proper guidance, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like I pray for like the people in the world in relationships because the point of fact, without guidance, it's just like a bunch of wasted money, wasted love, and it's just like it bothers me. It just does.
Wasted sweat.
Yeah, it's just
tears, blood.
Well, listen, so you guys have brought up like so many areas and avenues I want to kind of run down and run towards just to kind of pull out and dig in just a little bit more. Here's one of the things I think one of the streets we're going to go down. There's several of them, but here's one. So you all mentioned that there's no such thing as quote unquote dating as much anymore in the college scene. Now, see, that's foreign to me. That's really foreign to me because when we were coming through college, this is who you're dating. This is like my girl. That's my girlfriend. That's my boyfriend. We are, prior to our generation, they used to call it going steady. In my generation, it was we boyfriend, girlfriend. Now, you all generation, we kicking it. So help me understand the difference between steady, boyfriend, girlfriend, and kicking it.
I'll go. In my estimation, it's basically them running away from the responsibility of a title. Kicking it, talking, we just chilling. That's to run away from the responsibility of, oh no, you owe me that consistency. That's their way of pushing away consistency, pushing away the fact, oh yes, I am in the midst of courting you for you to become my wife. Mm-hmm. That's what kicking it is and talking is, and that's what that is. Mm-hmm. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically, all right. So it's not disrespectful. It's just gonna be raw. Like basically, the difference between that is like people want to jump to the sex part of a relationship before dang on going through the talking part. Like honestly, that's the difference. That's the difference right there. So when you said like, when you were coming up, it was, like that's my girl. Like, no, now it's just like, oh, bro, like you saw, I hate her. I got that. Like, we did that. And so it's like and I'm not saying all dudes are like this because, but it's a lot of them in the world to where they just say, oh, like I'm talking to this girl so I can have sex, so I can take that and have a conversation with my dude so they'll know like, oh, so she really is like that. Like, that's what it basically is. And sadly, like, that's what the world is really coming to. Like, and it's really hard to actually find like husband material out here. That's why, like Shasha said, you have to pray. Like, because if you don't, you're just running you're just being blindsided. Like, basically, like you're just running without no dang on, what's the word? With no, I can't think of the word right now. But it's like you're just running in a dark forest, not knowing where to go. And you just like stopping and doing anything. And then on top of that, like one thing that I noticed, like a lot of people, when they're going through like emotional, like, problems, the people that are supposed to be there to help them get out of that, they take that and think that that person is supposed to be a relationship or like a sexual encounter when that's not supposed to happen at all. Like Shara, one day Shara said that person could just be your ram in the bush for that minute, but not like on sexual terms, but more so like talking to you and helping you get out of certain situations. But humans being humans and not really, it's true. Like, humans just being like that, like they take that and be like, oh, like I'm feeling something for you. Like Shara said, that is synthetic feelings. Like that's what's really bad in this world right now. Like synthetic feelings.
I ain't talking
synthetic feelings, huh? Okay, I'm digging.
Okay. So for the good guys, okay, like people, a lot of the fellas in the world today just they feel like they can't have emotion. So that's where I forgot who said it, but that's where like the whole, I think Kaka was talking about it when she was like, that's where the whole sex piece and all that comes in. They just feel like they can't be like vulnerable to, actually wanting to make a real commitment. And sometimes that could also come from like broken homes and stuff. And that's like their only way to distribute their love or feelings. And to all the, like I said, to all the good guys out there, like it's okay to dang on, what's the word? Be expressive, like be a Christian, like be cool about it. Like you either way, if you look in the mirror and you see a person that's not a Christian, and like, I don't know, it's just, I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know, like just express your love right. Like it's just, they go the wrong way to express it. Honestly,
express your love right.
Yeah, like they just, I don't know if they're not getting the right, like I know they're not getting the right teaching because they're going off of what the world is showing them, but they just need to like I don't know, someone needs to be there to help them.
Right. And honestly, Bishop, I feel like relationships now are being looked at as crutches for this dysfunction. So it's like people aren't being in relationships because, okay, I believe, like what I was taught is that you serve through your singleness as well as through like you being with somebody. Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like people are using relationship as emotional crutches to stay in the dysfunction that they're in. Because I'm telling you, when you're with somebody, like, and this comes from experience, when you're with somebody and you really kicking it, you really feeling them, your problems don't exist for real. And it's like, it don't exist it doesn't exist until it's a bigger problem, and then now you want to break up, or now you want to. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't use relationships as, okay, hey, I see you contributing to my life. I see you adding to my vision, adding to our vision, so that we'll be able to honor God through this together. It's like, oh, I see you for right now, and I feel this type of way, but you don't. When I'm around you, I don't feel that way no more. So I feel like I'm gonna keep you around until you start pissing me off, or until you start making me mad, or making me see my mess. So yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So you said the difference between talking and dating now.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
it used to be courting, then it
So
was boyfriend, girlfriend, now it's kicking it.
yeah. So I think the best way to like describe it is the end goal without the process. And I say that like because people expect the the benefits of the end goal, the benefits of being in a relationship, the benefits of even courting, so to speak, without actually going through the process of earning of meeting those checkpoints to get to the end goal. Like you kind of like dance around it to and it goes back to the entitlement that I said, like people nowadays like feel entitled to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, whatever the case may be. But can you communicate effectively? We haven't crossed that checkpoint yet. We haven't come to a problem for either one of us to see how we handle conflict. You want my time, but what you do in your time appears to be wasteful, or vice versa. So like we may not be compatible, period. So yeah, all in all, I feel like dating, talking is the end goal without the process, and it's not a process of like earning the person's trust and like that's basically earning the person and giving the other person a choice to decide if they want that with you.
Okay. So let me ask then, you all are young ladies. So your perspective of a possible boyfriend moving into, husband situation sounds like the very first thing you want is the ability for that man or boy to be able to communicate with you past text messaging. Because I can't remember which one of you all said it, and I think it was you, Kiana, that the major part and piece of relationships nowadays is text messaging. And as Kashit said, it becomes synthetic love and not authentic love. I love you're my computer love. By the way, that's an old R&B song. Yeah, guess I found my computer love. Shooby doo bop, right? And so we're in love as long as we're texting one another or sexting one another, or FaceTiming one another in the nude and all those kind of things, whatever. But when we get face to face, there is no ability to communicate with one another. So am I hearing that right? That for you all, the ability to be able to communicate is major. Because see, again, there may be some people who think, and I know that there's some girls who think, I got to give it up in order to ever receive a boyfriend girlfriend kind of deal. I mean, I'm sorry, a boyfriend kind of deal. And since we got all women here, without worrying about communicating at all.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I feel like cuz women like we naturally like to talk about our feelings. Like we're emotion we're like more I wouldn't say more in tune. Like we're more in tune with our emotions. We're that nurturer, Not to say that men can't be, but women tend to take on that role more, if that makes sense. So like I could say for me, like I need for you to be able to talk to me, and don't just give me like surface level type, like, oh, I'm good. Oh, it was all right. Like no, how did that make you feel? You know, like what was your thought process? You know, like, but I also understand that, you know, I think one of y'all said it, like the back, I think Shasha said it, like the background and where that person comes from. They may not have been in an environment where communicating properly was practiced, you know? So it takes that person like breaking that mold to become an effect, to communicate effectively. And it takes like earning that like trust and comfortability level as well. Cause like you're not just gonna like share your emotions with somebody that you don't know, if that makes sense. Like I gotta see that you can handle my feelings well and properly before I can do that.
Mm.
But yeah.
So why does it seem like, you know, people fall in, girls in particular, fall in love so quickly from this synthetic love, this computer love? Like the person, I mean, you don't know them. All you know
Mhm.
is what they're doing by text message, and what you may see if you end up having to go out on a date or whatever. But even on the date, you're not looking at one another's face. You're still looking at your phone, scrolling or whatever. And there is no way that you know this person to say that you love. How can you love someone and you don't even know them?
I think that comes from the what I said earlier, falling in love with the idea of love and thinking, okay, all I need is a person for love. No, 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 no. You need a person that's compatible to your anointing, compatible to your spirit, compatible to your aura. And it's like you
Oh,
won't know that
I want to make sure we got that compatible to your.
spirit,
Mhm.
your anointing, and your aura. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is, like, we try to stamp love on the first thing we find. And I mean, I can speak from experience because guess what? Shara did it. Like you Shara did it. So it's just like, oh, okay, well, I want to be like what I see. But you got to understand what you see is not always what you get. Like these people could be fighting, all this other stuff, but you want to be what you see. And it's just like girls, for me, okay, me, I love hard and I fall in love quickly. So and I think that's okay. I made the mistake of falling in love quickly. Let me correct myself because it's like I fell in love with the idea of, oh, you see where I'm coming from, or oh, and I got this theory where I feel like hurt connects people. A like hurt, a like damage connects people. So when you find something that is a like that's like where you're hurting at, oh, it's an instant connection. So I honestly feel like even with marriage to an extent, people built a marriage off of a like hurt. That's why you go through all the mess that you go through. And it's just like me, like growing up, I had to mature fast. So it's like I started seeing things like, okay, that's what you not do. That's what you don't do. That's what you do. Because it's like you don't fall in love based on hurt because you're gonna hurt a lot longer until you find that love. You got what I'm saying? So I honestly feel that's why girls per se fall in love like faster than guys because it's like, oh, you understand me, or oh my God, like swoon type stuff because they understand where you're hurting at. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, you need to understand where you're hurting at so that you can be like, oh, I'm not stupid. I seen this in myself and I know where that leads. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it's me. I don't know.
I feel like oh, go ahead, Kyle. Oh. I feel like the right things are said, if that makes sense. Like when you hear like the right things that speak to your areas of deficiency or areas where you may not be as strong in, like let's say, and I'm gonna speak from my personal experience, like when I was dating before I got into my first relationship, and that's a whole nother but but like growing up, like before I came down to Bennettsville and stuff like that, like I stayed with my mom and my former stepdad. So like my dad like wasn't around like that, and I'm not speaking bad about my dad because you know that's my dog, you know. But like he wasn't as present, and it was like because of work, church, other things, or a culmination of all the three. And so like I was kind of missing like that paternal figure, like from my actual dad, like that protection and like fatherly love and stuff. Because in my house, like my stepdad at that time, he wasn't the best example for that. And so like, yeah. Um so for me, when guys would say stuff like, like I'm gonna take care of you, like I'm gonna protect you, ain't nothing going, like I'm not gonna let anything happen to you. I'm just like, oh, okay, like that sounds good to me. So yeah, like you're speaking to a soft spot in an area of deficiency. So like Shara said, like in order to combat that, you have to know your area where the areas where you're weakened, and take the time out to repair that area, so you won't fall prey to wolves in sheep clothing. So it's yeah, I feel like that's why like girls fall easier, because they lead off of their broken place instead of their wholeness.
Mm, mm,
Honestly, like I want to add on to what Kiana said about the whole like, parent piece, because like I've been okay. So me being like actually single, and a lot of people like actually coming to me and asking for like relationship advice. I noticed that um a lot of people date just to feel like a whole. Like what Kiana said is so true. Like you got girls that date to try to find like a father figure, and it's vice versa with men. But the only thing that come like is kind of confusing is like when you have that, like when you're dating and you have somebody that try to look for it. The okay, let me use a dude for an example, because it's like kind of prominent in like men, like so basically like when a guy dates a girl like to find a mother figure, it's kind of weird that it also like, reverse, because a guy sometimes gets mad at the same girl that he was trying to find a mother figure in. He gets mad because of the simple point of fact he says, "Oh, you're acting like my mother." And I guess that's where like, the hurt comes from. So I just wanted to say, like, honestly, like Kiana said, like that's why a lot of people don't really take time to sit out and assess and deal with their hurt. And like I said, hurt can drive you to do some crazy things. Like, and before you know it, like you in a place that you can't get yourself out of, and then you just again just you got people that's really trying to like heal you, and you got people that's trying to like, help you, and you sitting there dang on just grabbing onto them, hurting them in the process. That's just like, there we go. That's just like you hospital, and that person, you got a sick person coming into the hospital and you're infected, and you touch that person and you're infected, and now you're infecting that person more. Like it's like hurt is spilling into each other, and it's not like, it's crazy, because that's why, like, honestly, what you said, you have to have one strong person in a relationship, because if you don't, like, that hurt is just gonna spill into like you're gonna spill into each other. Like that's just crazy. Like that's a whole nother thought for a whole nother day. But
Like hurt people, like, and I found myself like in that. I didn't mean to take over, Bishop.
no, you go ahead.
Like
Go ahead.
I feel like I was in that situation where like I put the expectation of my ex filling that void of fixing that hurt area, and you can't give other people the responsibility of doing the work
To
that
fix
you're
you.
supposed to do, and then get mad when the other person is personifying and acting in your hurt area. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like, and so it's just like you are responsible for you. Like, and I do believe, to extend on Kai's point, like I do believe that like there can be two strong people in a relationship, not just like one, because like there may be some areas where one person is strong in that you aren't, and vice versa. But it comes the discernment of, okay, am I assigned to this person, and if so, in what role? Like, so you get into the conversation of assignment and what role there's, if they're supposed to just be a friend, if you're supposed to help build that person up on a friend level, or if it's supposed to go further.
And also piggybacking off Kiana as well, I think our generation doesn't understand assignment and distraction. Because a lot of times assignment and distraction can be identical. So it's like, that's where the prayer piece come in, like what Shasha was saying. You have to really pray, because there's a lot of time. Now, don't get me wrong, now, if it's somebody fine, I'ma look. Hey, who you? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, after a while, I'm like, okay, wait. Who is you though? Like, who really is? Like, and I know that's wrong to say, like, how I said it. That's, you know what I'm saying? But, like, literally, like, distraction and assignment, that's it can become identical. So it's just like, you really have to pray and actually go into God, like, and really search into God, like, okay, God, is this somebody that is gonna add to me, or and we're supposed to be together, or is this somebody I need to pour into and then allow them to leave so that they can pour into somebody else? Because a lot of times we get connected to our assignment. See, that's the problem. We get homework, right? And we don't want to give it back to the teacher, but get mad when they don't get graded. See, we get attached to assignments. We get attached to assignments and then get mad whenever the assignment don't bear the fruit. Like, baby, that's you're plant. You got to understand, a lot of times you don't plant fruit for yourself. You plant fruit for other people, because maybe the person that you're pouring into, the person that he belongs to, couldn't give that to him. So it's just like, okay, I quit. That's a lot, but I got a lot going on. But Shasha, I ain't gonna talk too much. But Shasha, go ahead. Because literally. But Bishop, go ahead, because I don't want to keep talking to everybody, you know.
Listen, you said, I'm telling you, you all are tying, like, y'all dropping bombs. You're dropping so many bombs. I'm trying to think about the question I want to ask you. I'm trying to type in some of the things you're saying. I'm like, I mean, you're dropping it so quick and so fast. Listen, we're going to have to do part 2 because we're almost out of time. I mean, literally, we feel like we just started, but we're almost out of time for today. So we're going to make this part 2 and get more. Listen, guys, if this thing is blessing you, you need to tell someone. They need to come back next week, Tuesday at 12, and maybe I need to title it different. That's probably the problem. If I'd just titled it like I started to, we'd have probably had 1,000 viewers. And so I think I'm gonna tell you all backstage what the title that I'm gonna make it, and we'll do this thing one more time, because I mean, I think that's just perfect. So I mean, gosh, let me see, who do I start with? I don't even know which way to start. I'll just start with the last thing I heard. So Shara said, you get an assignment and get mad when it's not graded because you never turn it back. Like,
mic drop.
Sir, we gotta stop doing that.
Assignment to do, but you turned the assignment into a lifelong project, and that lifelong project was not a lifelong project. So you never get graded or upgraded to a lifelong project because you held on to an assignment. And that assignment has been hurting you, breaking you, destroying you, because you wanted to date the assignment instead of finishing the assignment and turning it back over into God. I mean, I just think that is like perfect. And so a lot of situations that people get in, and mainly girls, because we just got, girls here on this particular platform. They're falling in love. One of you all said with the idea of love and not necessarily true love, and they're attempting to utilize this thought of love to be a band-aid over deeper issues and deeper problems. And gosh, I think it was Shara, somebody said it, that when you're in this synthetic love, I promise I'm gonna use that. I think that is like perfect. That is so good. When you're in this synthetic love, all your problems feel like they disappear until you realize it didn't. It only festered and got
Bishop,
lost.
Bishop is like a wig. It's like a weave. I'm being honest now.
Yeah,
Now look,
come on.
Black women, we wear weaves to protect our natural hair, right? That's what we do. But and also, it's like with Black women, it's like we don't want to deal with the chore of doing our hair, right? So the wig acts as something to cover our hair so we don't have to worry about the undertone problem. Not really, it's not a problem because I love my hair, as you can see today. But I'm saying, like, we don't have to deal with the underlying task of our hair because we understand that when something is put over it, we don't have to worry about that. But when that thing start to lift, when that wig start to lift, I'm just saying, when
that glue not sticking. It's not
when
sticking
you
no
start
more.
getting a little glue, Bishop, it's still there. I'm just saying, it's like a wig. Think of love like a wig. I'm just saying. And you know it. And the thing about it is, you know it look bad, but you get mad. Oh, it'll last one more day. It'll last one more day. Hair probably sweaty. But the thing about it is, we get mad when people start seeing our tracks slip. And no, Kaka, it's true. We get mad when people start smelling our hair. Like, but in actuality, you should be smelling it because it's right there. It's right there, but you don't see it because you would rather wallow in the stink because it's convenient rather than go and get your undertone fixed. I'm just saying. But okay.
Listen to me. You girls are killing this thing. And see, some of you all may not be able to see it. So I have my other device up so I can see the hearts. You got like hearts flying on the screen, well, on the Facebook screen. You can't see it in this platform, but on the other platform, I mean, because you're ministry. And that's what this whole platform is all about. For you to be able to say what needs to be said in the language that it needs to be stated, so that those of your generation can be helped, can walk out of some of the issues that's happening and going on with them today. And so we're going to have to do part two because we're out of time. We're literally out of time. So next week we'll pick up right where we are. We'll review a little bit. And then pick up right where we are. You guys make sure you're making notes of everything you said, even if that means you got to go back and watch this replay over so you can kind of make some notes of some of those points that you made. And we're going to dig deeper into this because I also want to know, well, what does conversation look like for you? How does that, what does that look like? How long should you date before realizing whether or not you're just covering up for something, or this is your actual hair? Like, is this my wig or is this my hair? How long is that? Pastor Blue and Apostle Coleman are on our live. Man, y'all got apostles and pastors speaking. This is something. Would rather wallow in the stink for convenience. I'm done, man. I'm ready to go run. I'm ready to run. I feel the unction of the Holy Ghost. So next week we'll come back at this again. But as we do every week, I want you to take an opportunity to minister to your age group. Minister to those college kids and then there are people who were actually on this live already said that this live was for me. So maybe you want to say something further on what you've already spoken about. Maybe there's something else on your heart that you feel led to speak to. You are all part of my church, so I know that there is a prophetic unction on you that happens because of connection. So then if you just feel led to say something to someone who's watching or something that we talked about in the past, doesn't really matter, but I want to pull you up to the screen and give you an opportunity to have last or closing words before we end the show today. So who's going to go first, or should I pick?
I could go first. What I would say is, do not compromise who you truly are to keep somebody around. Um, from personal experience, like my last relationship, I changed who I was so much that like my best friends didn't recognize who I was. Like people who I talk to on a normal, if like close friends or like people that I just interact with, they did not recognize who I was. Like, and it was like this like different person because of who I was dealing with. And I changed who I was just to keep him around because I thought that I deserved it, you know? Um, and my message here is don't compromise who you are. You are good just the way you are. Anybody who is wanting you to change to meet their downfall isn't the person for you. Like don't and listen to like who God has in your ear. Like trust the people that God appointed to you to speak life into you and to correct you when you're wrong. Like don't losing yourself is not worth a relationship. If anything, a relationship should add to you. It should help expand you. It should help you go to that next level and you that other person as well. But losing yourself is not worth holding on to a relationship. That's my message for today.
Um, basically, what I want to highlight is being single is not a disease. Like, um, many times in society today, a lot of people try to make you get in a relationship because they feel like if you're single, then there's something wrong with you. It's not. Take that time to basically get to know yourself, get to know what you want, get to know how you want it, how you're gonna go about getting it, um, how you want that other person to react to you, how you want your love to be. Because at the end of the day, a lot of married people don't want to sit there and tell you the funk that they just got in a relationship just because people expected it, just because they were hurt and they needed somebody to latch onto. And that's why, again, a lot of marriages and relationships are ruined. So, single people, again, don't be ashamed or embarrassed of being single. Like, God, and honestly, that scripture where it's write the vision and make it plain, that junk is so serious. Not junk, I'm sorry, Lord, but that is so serious. Like, write your vision and make it plain. That's even for like relationships, because sometimes people get so led astray to where they feel like, oh, like Shasta said, social media and stuff is like how I depict my husband to be, when in reality that's not true. Like, again, just remember to fix yourself so when your husband will come, you know that he's the real deal, that he's not a distraction, that this is what I really asked for. But again, singleness is not a disease, so stop making it like it is.
Okay. I guess my ending thought is to expand in your singleness, like expand in your singleness. I say this because being single teaches you who you are, what you like. It teaches you, being single teaches you a lot. Like, being single teaches you a lot that relationships can't. So expand in your singleness. Like, basically, oh yeah, and once you know who you are, after you expand, once you know who you are, you'll be less likely to accept imposters. And when I say imposters, I mean people who are putting up a front like, oh yeah, you for me, or oh yeah, I'm your boo, or I'm this. No, you're not. You're not. So it's just like, learn who you are, learn what you like. Oh yeah, maybe I like him to talk to me that way. Maybe like, cause I would really want y'all to know y'all can be raw and cut with God. Cause I'm telling you, who else you gonna do it with? Like, tell God, okay, God, I want him to talk to me like this. I want him to hug me like this. I want this to happen. I want this to happen. Because God is going, and if you're in the right standing, and and trust that God will bring that to you. Don't be so anxious. The Bible says be anxious for nothing. Like, don't be so anxious to where you go out looking. The Bible also says, a man that findeth. Why are you looking? Like, you don't need to look. The only thing you need to be looking for is you. Like, oh my goodness, like, look for you. Like, the Bible clearly says a man that findeth. So it's the man's job to find you. And if a man come up to you saying, oh shouty, I need you to, first of all, that just goes to show how he's perceived you. And a lot of times perception comes from your own dysfunction that you never see. So as long as you know who you are and you see who you are, you will not allow imposters into your space. So maximize in your singleness.
Piggybacking off what I just said, and maximizing your singleness, you could also maximize in your relationship.
Yeah.
Knowing what you want and knowing what God knows that He wants for you is a big what's the word? It's a big factor. Okay. Because you like being in a relationship, you need to know your worth and know that when you pray and what you pray for, it's out there. It's out there. And sometimes it may not be timing for you or him, because God knows what you need to uplift you or what you need to help build you and help contribute to your life, because at the end of the day, you write your own story. And it's just like, just don't settle for what you know is not for you. Like, I can't stress that enough. Don't just be out here settling for some old girl like, oh, no. No. No, it's just like, and guys, please learn how to reapproach a girl. Okay, like a lot of y'all get curved, and that's the reason. I'm just gonna keep it hot with you. That's the reason. Cause you come up. It's just relearn yourself and like reteach yourself. Like, even if you need to get a dictionary, go back, look up chivalry, anything. Okay. Like, not saying all guys have to be like that, but like, do better in reaching a potential. Yeah.
But women, stop presenting yourself like that too.
Yeah, like reanalyze and read something to reapproach and do what you need to do. Because guys and girls, y'all know what y'all want. And I'm pretty sure half of y'all that done settled, you settled. I don't know how, I hope you fix it. But yeah, just reanalyze to reapproach. Please. Okay, period.
Reanalyze the reapproach. I echo the sentiments of Pastor Darren Blue. These young ladies are wise beyond their years. You have people saying they're proud of you. Those are my big sis. I think that today's topic was needed, necessary. And as I stated, we didn't finish. We just started scratching the surface. So next Tuesday at 12 noon, it'll be College, COVID, and Christianity. And we're going to continue down this road. Go ahead and mark your calendar right now. All of you that are technologically savvy, tell Siri to do it. Say, hey, Siri, remind me College, COVID, and Christianity Tuesday at 12 noon so that it can remind you to tune in at 12 and then get more of these college kids in. Because listen, today could have saved your daughter's life. Listening to what these young ladies said could have saved your daughter years of heartache. Many of us have gone through a lot of these heartaches as it relates to falling in love and falling in love quickly. So you want to, and this from their perspective. Again, I didn't coax any of this. Now, I heard a lot of the teaching that I taught come out of them, which now let me encourage a pastor. Keep preaching, because as they grow up, you'll start hearing what it is you've been saying, even though it may have looked like at times they ain't paying you not one bit of attention. They're not into it at all. keep preaching it, because the more you preach it, is getting into them. I mean, I'm almost in tears as I listen to them talk, and I think, yeah, well, yeah. So they did listen, and they are hearing me. Now, that's not to say that your daughter is going to be perfect, nor your son is going to be perfect, but it's definitely saying that they will begin to have another perspective that's different from the norm. And you don't want your child normal. You want them 300 times better. See, we're raising up college babies and college kids and young adults and millennials and our high schoolers who we're talking to tomorrow to be 300 times better. And I can just tell that these young ladies are on their way to something great. Now, one of them got a little boyfriend, and I won't say his name. Bless his heart. Yeah. So, and bless her heart for having the little boyfriend deal. I'm still trying to work on how I feel about that. Yeah, because I ain't talked to him yet. But oh, when I do, it's going to be a nice conversation in Jesus' name. But the rest of them, you know, they may have had situations, whatever the case may be. But they're bright, they're intelligent, and they can help people, your college kids, if they're already in college or if they're getting ready to go to college. They need to listen to the broadcast. So next Tuesday at 12 noon, College, COVID, and Christianity, let's talk about sex. I said I wasn't gonna talk about the title, but that's the title right there. That's what we're talking about. We're gonna push the envelope just a little bit more. What y'all laughing for? Wait a minute. We're gonna talk backstage. We'll talk backstage. Don't you unmute yourself. We're gonna talk backstage in Jesus' name. Oh Lord. But that's gonna be the topic. We're going in for it because I believe it's gonna bless and help people. Let's maximize this shelter in place moment so that when the unpause button is fully pressed, it's kind of halfway pressed now, but when it's fully pressed, you walk back into the world 300 times better. How about that? All right. So tomorrow, as Wednesday, at 12 noon on Wednesday, we will have our panel of high schoolers. It's high school, shelter in place, and spirituality. Our high school babies be killing it, man. These people, man, they drop knowledge. I am super proud of all of them. Monday at 9 p.m., Millennial Monday. Tuesdays at 12 is College, COVID, and Christianity. Wednesdays at 12, High School, Shelter in Place, and Spirituality. Tonight, join us on our Sword of Truth page. It's our Bible study, TNT. We're starting at 7 p.m. tonight. And the title of our Bible study for the month of July and probably even August is called Faith Conversations. Our first faith conversation was incredible. Yeah, God took that whole conversation over, and it was just a night of ministry. You don't want to miss that. All right, that happens tonight at 7 p.m. on the Sword of Truth page, Faith Conversations. So we're looking to see and have all of you tonight or tomorrow for our high school shelter in place and spirituality at 12 noon. Till then, this is R. Christopher Brown III, the relevant leadership strategist, senior pastor of the Sword of Truth, presiding prelate of Kingdom Fellowship of Ministries, and the president of R.C. Brown Enterprises, and the originator of Brown Gravy. It is what it is. And I'm telling you that we're praying for you, and I'm believing that this year, 2020, for you, is going to be big. Till next week.